to this week's episode of Beach News. I'm Jackeline Luna.
And I'm Mykell Mathieu. This week we'll be taking a look at the 30th anniversary of the Japanese Garden and how students are celebrating Oktoberfest.
But first, let's take it to Angie Diaz, who tells us about a special new addition to shops in Long Beach.
Shoppers have a new place to check out clothing without the shopping. The Long Beach Free Store opened this summer on 1st Street in the downtown area. Visitors can donate articles of clothing and exchange them with other products in the store. One donation can be exchanged for as many items. Weekday manager Mark Pike explains how the shop was created.
The idea was actually created from a potluck, essentially, where a bunch of women would come here Friday just to this store on Friday night from at 7 to about 9 o'clock, and they would just swap clothing, and they would basically bring food, and they would eat and stuff like that. So after about a year of them doing that, they wanted to kind of celebrate it, and because they always had leftover items, this is kind of what came of it.
Along with the selection of clothing, shoppers can find shoes, household decorations, books, and other items. Because of its non-profit motives, the store's employees are all volunteers. Customer Sam Howard shared his experience of the store.
I like the selection of clothes they have, and I like giving back the clothes that I don't wear, so somebody else can use them that I don't use them anymore. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I hope the store get like a franchise, like one across town, not just this location, other places, because I told other people about this store and they don't believe it's here because they never seen it, but I hope the store get really big because it's a good store.
For hours of operation, check out www.longbeachfreestore.com. Reporting for Beach News, this is Angie Diaz.
Next we have the latest on the skateboarding regulations on campus. Karen Lopez explains more.
Eric Malcheski used to ride his skateboard to get him to and from classes quickly. Now, he traded in his 4 wheels for a much slower form of transportation. That was after the university police stopped him for skateboarding on campus. Malcheski says he isn't taking any more chances.
I'm the kind of person that you tell, get off the skateboard, it's not allowed. I won't ride it again. If I hear that from an authority figure, I won't do it anymore. And just that it was such an excessive, he held me for 20 minutes, just telling me about the same thing over and over, as well as pulling random people that were skating by and telling them the exact same thing and not letting me go because he was holding onto my license.
So the question is the university police more strict on skateboarders than others using other forms of transportation?
Skateboarders are a whole different subculture. Cops carry that. When they hassle people outside of campus, skateboarders, they're usually the subculture.
I don't think they should. You can use them for getting around campus. It's faster, it's really efficient. As long as they're aware of their surroundings, they don't hit people, it's fine.
Chief of Police Fernando Solorzano says that the Long Beach Municipal Code is specific to skateboarders, making it obvious why there has been such a focus on the recent crackdowns.
The razors aren't part of the municipal code like the skateboards are. Therefore, the officers know to direct their enforcement more towards skateboards. Since the beginning of the semester, I've asked my officers to put a little bit more emphasis. Since then, we've made up to about 45 stops of skateboarders. We haven't been citing them, but we are trying to get a new message out there. We are trying to educate our community, letting them know, skateboarding, while not allowed, we will have some leniency, but we have to make sure that they know that they need to abide by the rules of the road. They shouldn't be riding a skateboard in the middle of the road. They shouldn't be riding in congested areas. But we understand that it's being used as a very popular means to get to school.
This popular means is becoming more and more common. So if this is your method of transportation, be sure to follow the rules to avoid a citation. For Beach News, I'm Karen Lopez.
Now let's take a look at the Latino Organization Fair. Lizette Beltran reports.
The University Student Union Program Council hosted the Latino Organization Fair earlier this week. The fair featured organizations such as La Raza, Mi Casa, Mi Universidad, the Program Council, and many more.
The Latino Organization Fair was created to celebrate Latino Heritage Month. So we have here the Latino-based clubs and organizations so basically they're here to show what they do for the Latino community during this month and the rest of the year, throughout the year.
As students ventured from one table to the next, musicians played live music and clubs offered free food and samples. Organizations took the opportunity to share what they are all about.
I think it's important just for all the Latinos on campus. I've met some freshmen that are kind of like, oh, I feel like I'm the only Latino in class, and they're taking like the high math classes or something, and they feel, they're the only ones. And then, I tell them, no, we have this, we have that, and I feel like they feel a bit more sense of community when they do meet more Latinos.
Students can find more information on these and other clubs at the University Student Union. Reporting for Beach News, I'm Lizeth Beltran.
This year, the Japanese Garden celebrated their 30th anniversary. Stacy Robinson takes a look.
Last Friday evening, the Japanese Garden celebrated their 30th anniversary with the theme, The Sweet Life. Director of the garden, Jackeline, explained her story of the Sweet Life theme.
The theme for this year is The Sweet Life. And it came about as an inspiration when we were thinking about our 30th anniversary and all the wonderful experiences that we've all had at the garden, working together with our volunteers and our supporters to really create educational and cultural programs that are of great value to the campus and to the communities.
125 members attended the event, where they enjoyed appetizers, a fully stocked bar, and a chocolate fondue fountain. The event lasted 2 hours. With a chance of rain scheduled in the forecast, members of the garden enjoyed a pleasant evening under the stars.
We just like the gardens. The ambiance is nice. It's very serene. It's beautiful.
A live jazz band performed classic songs for entertainment. Director Jackeline explains the benefits of being a member of the garden.
Student level and individual and family and so on. So the family level is $50 a year, and that's for 12 months. And some of the wonderful benefits that come with that is we participate in a reciprocal garden program, more than 350 really beautiful gardens around the United States.
Reporting for Beach News, this is Stacy Robinson.
A special event with music and art was held in downtown Long Beach. Brianda Sanchez tells us more.
The Soundwalk took over Long Beach East Village District and attracted people of all ages to its annual event. It is an outdoor and indoor art walk whose main feature is how sound is created. One of the producers, Cameron Asadi, encourages people to come and says there was a need for a sound art, and that is how it began years ago.
Sound was so flexible, and it was experimental for us too, but it really picked up and people really loved it.
The Soundwalk has grown in diameter, which includes 4 blocks of entertainment with local artists who can create sound out of anything. It allowed artists to show their unique way of making sound. David Cox explains that his method is almost like playing a piano.
It's a paper boat synthesizer, which is basically like a synthesizer, but instead of hitting like a keyboard, you're trying to blow a boat into the side of a wall.
First-timers like Kelly Christensen said that she had never heard of the Soundwalk, but was having fun.
If you've lived in Long Beach or you're new to Long Beach and you want to see what else there is other than like 2nd Street and 4th Street.
The Soundwalk is organized by local artist group Flood, and Asadi assures that this event is one of its kind in downtown Long Beach.
Well, I guarantee that you have never seen anything like it before.
Brianda Sanchez for Beach News.
Oktoberfest comes to town. Jackeline Luna has the inside look.
This is the 44th year that the Alpine Village has hosted Oktoberfest. People in line were anxious and excited to get their feet in the door.
I'm very excited to be here. My roommate and I have actually been talking about how excited we are about eating tube meat and drinking big steins of beer all night.
Just hoping to get a free beer. Yorle, yorle, hee-hoo.
Behind me is Oktoberfest tent. Hundreds are lined up waiting to take part in the festivities. This is one of the biggest events outside of Munich, Germany.
The crowd was kept entertained throughout the evening by contests for men and women and a live band flown in directly from Germany. The band wasn't the only import of the night. The Alpine Village had authentic German beer and food. By the end of the evening, the number of people under the tent rose to approximately 2,500. This event is cash only. Entrance tickets can be bought for $10 on site or online at www.alpinevillagecenter.com. This is Jackeline Luna for Beach News.
Can you tell me how you plan to celebrate Oktoberfest?
Probably drunk.
I don't know. I don't really have any major plans as of right now, but looking forward to it.
I would probably be just studying for for midterms and stuff.
Drinking a lot of beer, mainly beer, only beer.
I plan to celebrate Oktoberfest with lots of alcoholic beverages, perhaps, my family, food, Bratwurst, und alle Sachen, weil das ist ein guter Tag, ja? Gut genug?
Last week we covered the Sin Silence Packing event. This week we take a deeper look at how that story hits close to home here at Cal State Long Beach.
She seemed to be okay. I think when things started falling apart is when her dad and I filed for divorce. She would just do risky stuff, skip school, I started noticing a little change in some of her friends that seemed a little questionable. And then it got to the point where it was just bizarre behavior. I thought she was bad. I thought she was on drugs. It got so bad one night, I had to call 911. She was just glazed over. I thought she was high. I didn't know what was wrong with her. So they ended up taking her away to the hospital. They had diagnosed her with schizoid affective disorder. But that was my whole struggle with her. She just wouldn't stay on her medication. She'd feel better, she'd give it up. So then she started to self-medicate. She ended up in Vegas and called me because I'd had a missing person on her. So for a while she seemed to be doing okay in Vegas. I tried to talk her into coming back. So when she finally did, that's when I hadn't seen her for about a year. I said the risperidol, I said you did well on that. You're not sleeping, you're feeling anxious, you need some medication to help with that. And she was almost willing to do that, but she said, I have to go back to Vegas, I have to get my stuff. And I said, don't go, we can forward your mail, we can get your stuff, just don't go. And she got on the bus, and that was the last I heard from her until I got the call from the coroner's office. And I knew. I just remember seeing her turn away, and I just said to myself, I'm never going to see her again. I'll never forget that. Just look back, and she just looked back and smiled, and my girlfriend said, don't be a stranger, call your mom sometime, let her know how you're doing. And she just smiled, and that was it. And it was weird because the day before she committed suicide, I was just really upset at work. It was just a bad day. If you can have a really bad day for no reason, I was having a bad day and I couldn't even figure it out. I was here at work the next day, and it was about 10:30 or so. I just felt like, wow, my whole day is totally different than yesterday. It was just calm. I got everything done. That's when I got a call from a 702 number, and I thought, that's odd. I have her programmed. Why would I get a call from Vegas? This is not her number. And that was when it was the coroner's office, but I didn't know. They said, are you Michelle's mom? And I said, yeah. And that's when they told me that she had shot herself at an indoor shooting range there in Vegas. I just think it's sad because without the mental illness, I think she was a bright, articulate, girl. She was athletic. She was amazing. But we did have her funeral here in the East Gym because she was the happiest playing volleyball. She did the Brian Gimilaro, volleyball camps here. She did the 49er camp here.
My dream for the future is to get a big part in a movie so I can win an Oscar award.
For the latest in sports, here's Jared McKiernan.
This is the Beach Breakdown. The men's water polo team took on the Princeton Tigers on the first day of last weekend's tournament. Nick Rascon goes behind the back for a goal, but it's waved off. Ordinary foul. Princeton's Thomas Nelson gets the back of the net. The Niners would struggle to convert. 20 attempts, but just 4 conversions. Ryan Schieffer tries to rally Long Beach, but it's too little, too late. Princeton takes this one 8-4. The women's volleyball team returns to action at the Pyramid against rival Fullerton. They look to build on a 3-0 shutout over UC Irvine. Also facing Fullerton is the women's soccer team. They will try to continue their offensive surge after pummeling Cal Poly 6-0. And congratulations to Ford Nadia Link, who has been invited to the Women's Under-23 National Team Training Camp. Best of luck to her and the rest of the team. For all the latest on 49er sports, tune into the Beach Breakdown. I'm Jared McKiernan.
That's it for this week's episode of Beach News. Be sure to check out our YouTube page and the Daily 49er website. I'm Mykell Mathieu.
And I'm Jackeline Luna. See you next week.